Welcome, fight fans, to episode 18 of the Hooks In podcast. We got a banger this week, 2 amazing guests, and a shit ton of predictions for the big pay-per-view happening this Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you set your alarm because I certainly did not prepare for that afternoon start. So let's start off with introducing our guest. First off, we got smiling Sam Alvey. He's fighting this Saturday night on the undercard. He's 33-14-1 lifetime in the octagon with 19 KOs. He's a light heavyweight, so you better tune in for his bout on Saturday afternoon. Next, we've got Jared, the Rebel Revel. He's a Canadian mixed martial artist hailing out of Langley, BC. He's 10-2 career in the octagon. He's fighting this Friday night. Torah, MMA 10. Fighting former UFC fighter Sergio Moraes. You want to tune into that one because he's an up-and-coming star, and he'll tell us a bit about his career and how he got into the sport. We're going to reflect back on the card Saturday night. It was a fight night. Break that down a little bit. But we're going to spend most of our time this week, guys, with Easy Lines, getting ahead of that book. He's done a lot of research this week. He called in a couple of times sick into work, researching all of the metrics and all the advanced stats. So get your notepad out and get those vanilla prepaid cards loaded into your Bet365. Starting us off with the recap, we've got Adam Davidson.
Thank you, Ben. So last weekend, fight night, Ortega versus Korean Zombie. The 2 highlights of the night for me were the 2 main fights. Jessica Andrade versus Caitlin. I won't try to pronounce her last name. Jessica, with this win, she becomes the first female to have 3 wins in 3 different weight classes, which is pretty cool. And Ortega's dominant performance over the Korean Zombie, which even the easy lines didn't predict, but we did predict the over, so we're good on that. But I mean, Ortega's stand-up just blew my mind. It was the highlight of the night for me. He looks like he's unstoppable right now. What did you guys think of the main card?
Yeah, I mean, to jump in there, I've never seen such improvement in between fights in terms of striking as I saw here with Ortega. It was really, really impressive. Did not see that coming. Bald-headed Ortega is the new meme now, and his game plan was amazing. He was in southpaw I think pretty much the entire fight. His jab looked amazing, so crisp and accurate. I did see Zombie did say they were expecting him to be in that southpaw most of the time, but didn't really have a game plan. Yeah, well, really, Ortega's distance and his footwork, crazy improvement there. I don't know what he did, or I think he must have changed camps. But yeah, no, I was really impressed with that. And him versus Volkanovski is going to be an extremely exciting matchup.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited for that Volk matchup too. But that being said, with everything that was amazing about Holloway, what's Ortega made or Zombie made of? Guy gets dropped and stands up like nothing happened. He just brushes it off and keeps walking forward. No wobble, no nothing. Eats that spinning back elbow that would have put down a moose. And he just gets up and shrugs it off, keeps walking forward. Crazy, man.
He says he doesn't remember rounds 3, 4, and 5. So he's obviously.
Yeah, I read that. Insane.
He was an actual zombie.
Yeah, when the 5th round ended, he thought it was like the end of the 3rd round or something,
yeah.
Right? Like he thought it was going into the 4th when the fight was over. He was confused, which, rightfully so.
He said he only wants 3-round fights moving forward.
Yeah.
Come on.
And but Ortega, just unbelievable. Like a guy that's known for jiu-jitsu and locking up a huge guillotine and anything on the ground. He literally wanted to stand, and he stood with somebody that's lethal with their power and lethal with their striking. So he looked phenomenal. And again, like you guys said, Volkanovski, now we have a clear-cut opponent for him, and he's going to pose some issues with the length. And if he stands up like that and also already has his ground game, I mean, Volkanovski could be in trouble. Going to be a good fight.
He's a dangerous guy in that division now. very complete fighter now.
I'm taking Ortega, like easy, like quick preview at Ortega. I'm taking him probably in that matchup right now. Doesn't matter what it is, but I'm heavily on this bandwagon now, and yeah, we'll see where. I mean, like I'll take a closer look, but I like that matchup on paper right away for Ortega. That length, like you said, so yeah, gonna be good.
All right, should we head right into this week's card? We got a huge pay-per-view coming up. Some big fights, lots of predictions to go through. Where do you want to start, Z-Balls?
Yeah, no, thanks. I'll just going into this big fight weekend, easy lines. We're currently sitting at 54 correct picks with 31 incorrect. Since our debut back in June this year, netting us 63.5% win rate. So just want to continue to keep all you guys that are still following us. Thank you. We appreciate your support. Hit that like button. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, we're going to keep it going. So this week, main event, we got obviously, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Let's see if I get this right. Nurmagomedov. That's it. There we go. Took me a little while there, but he's the current champion.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I had under 5 attempts, so I locked that up.
Well, yeah, I can hit the over though. This is the Mafia now. But no, current champ. Obviously, everyone knows him. He's taking on the interim champ, Justin Gaethje. Khabib's, heavy favorite with the line of minus 350. Justin's a plus 275. And it's easy to see why. Khabib's 28-0 in his MMA career, undefeated. 12 of them coming in the UFC. Wins over people like Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor. Justin, he's coming off an amazing performance in which he did something, amazing fighters could not do before him, which is put away Tony Ferguson before the end of the fight, right? His striking looked amazing, very accurate. Timing was always on point, footwork, everything. Trevor Whitman as a coach has done wonders for his game. But in general, I'm going with Khabib in this fight. There's no question Justin has the advantage standing up. The real question is, how is he going to defend Khabib's takedowns? Justin, is an all-state champion, American free wrestling, all that type of stuff. Used it a lot more earlier on in his career, but hasn't really used it that much since, he joined the UFC. Matchmaking is really allowed for these type of amazing striking battles he's had up until this point. But is Justin's defensive wrestling really going to be able to stop Khabib? I'm going to wager no, it's not. I do believe Justin's footwork is excellent and won't really allow himself to get caught easily. Again, Whitman as a coach, they're going to have a great game plan, I think, and look to stay away from that fence and circle out, not allow Khabib to get that signature push against the fence and that takedown. That's where he really goes to work. But, it's easy to say that now and until you get into the cage with Khabib, right? Everyone's kind of said that before. So taking Khabib, as I said, I don't really love the price, though. It's actually kind of surprising, minus 350. Justin's overall game is very strong. But, I would parlay Khabib with some other things that we're going to speak about later on. Over is the next play here. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 138, I think is a very excellent pick. Khabib has never been known to end guys early per se, right? He takes them down, wears them down, grinds them away very slowly, right? Justin has amazing heart and toughness, no quit in this kid. I don't see him getting finished before the midway of the third round, certainly. If Gaethje was to somehow pull off a win, let's say, I don't really see that happening early either, right? Which, like I said, it's not going to happen, but, or at least I don't believe it's going to happen. We've barely ever seen Khabib in trouble in the last, his last 12 fights, 10 seconds in his entire UFC career. So good value there. Khabib by decision, plus 275 is a value bet there. I think half unit or a unit on there, I think was good. Done my spiel. What do you guys think?
Yeah, really excited for this fight. A few months ago, my prediction was that Israel would finish Costa and Khabib would finish Gaethje, and Khabib would end up fighting GSP. And we see in the news recently, so many things are riding on this fight. Literally so many things are taken away from this fight if Gaethje ends up winning. And obviously there'll be other matchups, but literally if Khabib can't win this fight, then there will not be a Khabib GSP. I'm not only saying this because I believe it, but I'm saying it because I really truly believe it was supposed to happen. Khabib does finish Gaethje, but I do agree that it's over the 2.5 rounds. I think it could be a 4th round stoppage, something like that. So Khabib is as good as he is for a reason. He will be 29-0. He will have a chance to be 30-0 in early 2021 when they do match him up with GSP. Just has to get through this weekend, and I think he will. A late round stoppage over the 2.5 rounds.
I thought it was pretty interesting. They had the press conference, and Khabib kind of threw some shade on his buddy DC. They asked Khabib what he would do if he can't get a takedown, and he said that when DC fought Stipe, he only tried one takedown. He just gave up, which is, I thought, was a kind of a funny comment to say about one of your best friends. But Khabib said that if he can't get the first takedown, he's like, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop trying to take him down. He's just going to wear him out. I agree. I think Khabib wins this one, and I think the over is a good play on this because I think he's going to grind him down. And Gaethje, we all know, is a durable guy, so I like that pick.
Yeah, I agree too. Like, Gaethje poses a ton of problems. He's got that really fast low kick from close. Problem with that, he's not going to want to be right in close with Khabib. So I don't see even his leg kicks as being as effective as they've been in the past. You don't want to be standing on Khabib's toes. He's just going to shoot and take you down. So I feel like Khabib's wrestling threat is really going to neutralize Gaethje's leg kicks, which is going to play well for Khabib long run in this fight. And yeah, I'm leaning towards a 4th round finish, probably by choke or something like that.
And Khabib will eat 1 or 2 of those leg kicks, but he'll just take them down when he does. He'll get the timing of the leg kick, and he'll just take them down.
Yeah, I don't see Khabib being too afraid of that leg kick, and yeah, it's not that much danger to him, right? Like if Gaethje was more using knees, let's say, I'd be okay. Like he was more like a hooker, Dan Hooker type of guy with those knees, then I'd say that's more danger. But he's not gonna be afraid to do that takedown. And to your point, what you kind of said, Davidson, to Khabib's mindset. I mean, I just know this off the top of my head because I looked at it earlier today. His takedown accuracy is actually only 44%, Khabib, like in the UFC, which is not really that good. Or you would think it's a lot higher than that. It's because when he doesn't actually, you'll watch it. He'll go 1 out of 3 takedowns basically. He'll get like against the top level guys, against Gaethje, but the one that he does get, you can't get up from it. He just has like a certain system where he does with your legs, where he pushes it up against the fence, some weird thing, or and the guys, no one can just get up from it, right? So it doesn't always, he has to set it up well, and his striking has gotten a lot better as well over the last couple of years. That's been able to set it up a lot easier. So
DC's talked about that a lot with Khabib. He's like, Khabib never gets people on the first shot, doesn't usually get people on the second shot, but he reshoots and reshoots. And it's not like he's backing away when he reshoots. His reshooting is just adjusting his angle and not letting go of your knee and just keep driving. He's wild.
Where is he down trying to defend the takedowns too? Like, and then speaking about Gaethje's kicks, like, look what Khabib did to Barboza. That guy's probably one of the best kickers in the UFC, and Khabib just took it like they were nothing. Like that guy's built like a brick. So I think Gaethje's gonna probably rely on his hands and try to connect with one of those haymakers if he's gonna take Khabib out.
Yeah, just to recap there. So yeah, in general, obviously Khabib, we're taking money line. Over is the other main play here. I think 4th round TKO, end of the 3rd round, something like that is very, very likely. But moving on here, co-main event. It's a middleweight fight, a big fight for this division between Robert Whittaker and Jared Cannonier. Very exciting fight, as it's a pick'em. Both are at -110. Whittaker's coming off a great decision win over Darren Till just 3 months ago. He suffered a tough loss previously to that. KO lost to Adesanya. Jared's on a 3-fight win streak with wins over Branch, Anderson Silva, most recently Jack Hermanson. My main play this fight is the under, and here's why. So this is an extremely interesting matchup. You could go in that could go into a lot of different directions, right? But overall, they both love to strike, and I see the fight kind of staying there. Whitaker did show some success and evolution to his game, using his grappling against Till, right? Getting in closer, controlling the pace, putting pressure against the fence when he had to in that third, fourth, fifth round to win those rounds. So that's encouraging to see. So I do see him seeing success there, right? But Jack Hermanson, you know, he has the same threat of wrestling, very slick on the ground as well. But Cannonier was able to time that perfect uppercut on him very beginning of that second round and really end him easily, or like seemed to end it easily at the very beginning, right? So Cannonier's opponents tend to be very tentative due to his amazing power. Whitaker has changed his style recently. He's really since the beginning of the first Romero fight, where he takes more of a blitzing style actually, and he tries to get inside of people using that. The problem is that he doesn't really set it up all that well, right? He doesn't use that much to set up. He just kind of goes for it sometimes. And he was able to read Till well, though, you know, land some great kicks. But he also got dropped in the fight, right? I think it was first round or second round, Whitaker got dropped. His chin has kind of worn down a little bit. You know, he has tremendous heart, certainly, but he's gotten dropped in a lot of fights. The Till fight, obviously Adesanya, both Romero fights, he's getting dropped. So my main play here is the fight will not go to distance, minus 163. I think the under 2.5 minus 125 is excellent value as well. With these styles and matchup, I really see them clashing well for a good finish. If Whitaker can't really catch Cannonier with that blitz, or let's say, you know, grapple and gas him out in the third, then, you know, or so that's what he can gas him out in the third with ground and pound, you know, proving he's kind of a top contender now. Jared could counter punch, catch him on one of those blitzes. He has crazy reach, could use, you know, stalking and kicking, frustrate Whitaker and force that blitz to kind of end the fight after that. So to pick a winner here is extremely tough. I want to believe Whitaker is back and he's going to win. So I'm going to take him third round TKO finish. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I'm going Whitaker like pretty hard on this. It's even money. He's the better overall mixed martial artist. He, you know, the UFC and basically Adesanya makes a lot of people look stupid. So it's easy to say, you know, Whitaker didn't look great, but he came back and fought extremely well against Till. But the thing for me is Adesanya said, if Cannonier wins this weekend, then that's going to be the matchup. Well, it makes the fans and it makes, you know, bettors think, well, he's got to win because that's going to be the matchup. I actually really believe the next matchup's going to be Adesanya and Blachowicz. And I think he moves up to light heavyweight. And I think that happens because I think Whitaker wins this weekend, and it's like they don't want an immediate rematch like that. Maybe they give, I don't know. I don't know who they give Whitaker next. Maybe Chimaev, who knows? But I truly believe Whitaker's better in almost all the areas. Cannonier is on a nice hot streak, but I think it ends because he isn't as skilled as Whitaker is. And then I think Adesanya fights Blachowicz for the light heavyweight title.
Yeah, I agree, Zone. I also think Whitaker, he's too fast. And part of what I saw, I rewatched the last fight for Cannonier against Hermanson. Cannonier is not a fast striker. He throws hard, but he's not lightning fast or anything. The last three guys that Whitaker has fought all have been crazy, explosive, fast fighters, which is why I think he was getting caught with his volume punching and stuff. I don't think he's going to get caught as easily by Cannonier. Cannonier seems to be quite a bit slower than Izzy, slower reaction time than Romero, and Till he's a very good, precise striker. And Whitaker made it well against that. So yeah, I think Whitaker is just going to continuously beat him to the punch over and over and over again. En route to, I agree, a third round TKO.
I back that as well, guys. Funny enough, just a little insight for our fans. Whitaker actually opened as an underdog. So I actually got him on a parlay plus 100. Checking
nice.
today. Yeah, it's now even pick 'em. And I don't know, is that the shark money? Is that just the general public money who's going on Whitaker to bring him more down to a favorite, or now an even pick 'em? but definitely there's money going on him. So that I think is a good sign. And all the reasons, Josh stated, Matt stated about his quickness, just being in the ring with Israel, I think is great experience. And I think that makes him just a little bit better on paper and gives him a bit of an edge. He really impressed me in that Till fight. And yeah, I'm backing him pretty heavily this weekend. So excited for this bout.
Nice. I like it. Okay, so moving on, we'll get on to the next fight, which is Alexander Volkov taking on Walt Harris in the heavyweight division. Volkov's a favorite coming in at -175. Harris is the underdog +150. Volkov coming off a decision loss to Curtis Blades earlier this year, in which he did have some decent grappling against basically one of the best grapplers in the entire division. Walt lost to Overeem by finish in the second round earlier this year as well, just a few months ago. In general, I'll cut to the chase. Volkov, I'm taking him to win this fight. He has much better cardio and grappling than Walt Harris, in my opinion. Harris seems to gas a little bit, actually, by the third round in quite a few of his fights. Volkov will have that height and reach advantage as well, certainly. So he'll be able to initiate strike exchanges a little easier and set up those grappling exchanges. One thing, I am, have to be wary of is that Walt Harris has amazing hand speed. So Volkov is going to have to watch out for that. If Walt Harris is able to get inside and really land before Volkov can initiate some of those grappling exchanges or a takedown, then, he's going to get knocked out. So there is a danger there. I think the under is an excellent play here as well. The fight to not go the distance, -188. The under, 2.5, -150 are excellent. I think Volkov will be able to lean on Walt and gas him. And the only way Walt is ever winning is by knockout as well here. So, again, the under and Volkov to win.
Yeah, I'll just throw out there as a value bet. I think it's +220 for Volkov to win by decision. I just think the length and the reach, he's going to be able to pick him apart. I don't see him finishing Harris, but just as a value bet, if you want to, you could parlay it with something, one other fight, maybe like a Khabib money line or something like that. But I just think he, with his length, his reach, and his success in his last fight defending the takedown against Blades, could give him a shot here to win in a 3-round decision.
Yeah, they both have a 76% takedown defense. So, both guys are good at defending the takedown, which tells me that, they're probably gonna stand up and bang. And like you guys said, Volkov has that reach advantage, and he also almost doubles the landed strikes per minute than Harris. So I think he's going to outstrike Harris on the feet.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that, boys. Pretty good breakdown there.
Yeah, I'll just add on there, thinking about it a little bit more and then hearing what Zone said about the decision, I'll go ahead and just Volkov to win, I'll put a lock. I'll put a lock designation on that one for this week, okay? So Volkov money line, very least, whether by decision or under, who knows? But I think I'm really confident in that in terms of Volkov, even more so than Khabib, actually. So we'll see kind of what goes on there. But very lastly, in terms of my calls, I'm gonna go, another great name here. Love UFC for this, but Magomed Ankalaev as a -334, taking on Ion Cutelaba +250. So, Ankalaev, again, don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm taking him. There was a controversial ending to the last fight. Cutelaba tried to play possum. Tried to trick him into kind of leaving his counter striking style, and Magomed or Ankalaev, got aggressive basically, right, which is not his usual self. He left himself more open, and it was actually kind of working. Ankalaev was getting more aggressive, kind of winning punches out there, but the ref stopped it too early, kind of ruined Cutelaba's game plan now, because he's not going to fall for that twice, right, Ankalaev? I mean, that awesome game, he's not going to fall for that twice. So I see Ankalaev, having a lot of success. using his superior grappling to really control Ion, gas him out, and get a ground and pound TKO finish in the second round. Ankalaev by finish minus 138. Good to me. Parlay under 2.5 rounds minus 225 with some of the other things that we said before. Volkov, whatever. Yeah, what are you guys thinking?
That's a good fight, man. I'm excited for that fight. I think you're gonna be right there though, Z. I love that Kudalaba or whatever his name is showing up like the Hulk and crap at the weigh-ins. Fun to see, but I think Ankalaev is just a better fighter all around, and you're right that he's not gonna fall and go rushing into a blitz this time at all. He's just gonna pot shot him.
I think I don't touch this on Bet365. I think I take Kudalaba on my DraftKings though as an underdog. That's what I think I do. I think there's potential there for him to upset based on what happened in the first one. But
there's no way it goes to decision though. I think we can all agree there.
Yeah.
Like it's insane if this gets past the second round.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it goes to 2 rounds.
That's like the under 2.5 Kron is minus 225. Like
it's crazy.
I've
never seen that.
That's pretty, yeah, exactly. Like that's
And
pretty high. Even like they're not even heavyweights either. These guys are like middleweights or something, aren't they? Or are they light heavyweight? I don't know,
they're
middle,
pretty big.
Think light heavyweight.
Light.
Oh, you're right, light heavyweight.
Yeah, light.
They're big boys. But like,
I think I might.
Yeah. Go ahead, Josh.
I think I might be more excited for this fight than any of the other ones on the card from a pure entertainment standpoint. Like the other ones obviously have huge implications. Good luck out entertaining this fight.
I was going to say this sounds weird, but I'm actually most excited for this fight. And I think there's a couple reasons for it. The way the last one finished, we previewed this, I want to call it 2 months ago, and then Ion got COVID and it got rescheduled. So it's kind of like one of these anticipated rematches that truly didn't get a fair outcome that first time around.
And they've rebooked it like 4 times.
Yeah. And I feel it's going to be this one. They start and they just run at each other like 2 fucking
bulls,
rams with their horns just going crazy at each other. So, man, get your popcorn ready, guys. Like this is going to be a bloodbath.
If
that
I could,
one fires off the main card too. That's crazy.
If I could interject for 1 sec, it's actually minus 250 to not go the distance for the Sam Alvey fight, and I'm telling the viewers under 2.5 rounds is minus 188, and I really like that because Sam Alvey on our interview this week that you'll hear says he's not going to let it go the distance. So he said he's gonna be looking to knock this guy out, and he will not let it go in the judges' hands.
He's going to shank him at the end of the third.
And smile after.
Yeah. One way or the other, the doctor's
serious?
stopping it. Yeah.
Either the police of Abu Dhabi or the National Guard's going to stop it, or
he acknowledged though I think he's lost 4 in a row. He needs a win, so he's going out there and he's giving it his all. So under 2.5 just as a undercard fun bet minus 188 because he said so.
Yeah, he's a big dog, great value if someone wants to throw a couple pesos on that. But I'm
also hoping Tuivasa can sneak out a win too. I'm hoping to see another Shui.
Yeah.
So gross, but hilarious to see.
That's actually another fight I was going to think about. Yeah, exactly. I was going to take a closer look, but to be honest, I didn't think I was going to be able to choose anything in that one, or at least in terms of a winner, because it's a tough one. I think Tai Tuivasa's look good, but he's kind of on a losing streak. He's on a losing skid a little bit, right? So, but Struve himself too has been inconsistent. So either way, that's me exciting fight though. Under plus 110 with you.
I don't know, Zone. Like I was going to call one out. Maybe you can help me analyze this one. But the Alex Oliveira, Rakhmonov fight, another one where I actually took Alex last week in a parlay I want to say it was minus 175.
And it's
And I look
dropped.
now, yeah, 125. So almost to pick him. I don't know this guy he's fighting too well. What's your take on that one? Because I kind of like the Cowboy there in this.
Yeah, I do
That-
too. And
That's
it's
Zone's boy.
yeah, my Brazilian boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never seen him look as good as he did last fight. Like, I'm not
Oh,
comparing
yeah.
him by any means to Ortega. Like, believe me, I'm not comparing him. But he reminded me in his last fight, as Ortega reminded me his past fight. They came in and they looked so crisp and so on point, and they looked better than they've ever looked. So for me, it's going to be really hard not to pick Oliveira this weekend based on his last performance. I can't see him coming in and reverting back to his old ways when he had such success his last fight. So I don't care if the line dropped or not. For me, I'm considering that as better value betting because he's really good. I don't know a lot about the other guy either. I'll do a little more research, but I'm on Oliveira for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the other guy, this is his first fight in the UFC. So like that's this is a pretty tough pretty tough outing for your first UFC fight against Alex
Beat him to the
Oliveira, which
wolves.
has like been great. Exactly. Like, yeah, he's gotten beat by some good guys, but again, these are UFC guys. I think Oliveira minus 125 is, like you said, it's a good investment just because the guy. This is the first fight. The other guy's undefeated. Great, you're undefeated. Like, this is an M1. I think M1 is like a decent size, like European or Russian. I think MMA,
Russian.
but
I think it's Russian.
yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
Fedor was before Bellator.
So okay. So it's like probably one of the bigger ones in Russia, right? So he's like 12-0 in that one. But again, UFC is a whole other game. So again, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't like closely look at that one, but off the cuff here, I like that minus 125.
Yeah, and just I would say on the surface too, this isn't some fight night kind of crappy card where they just kind of slid them in. Like, this is a huge pay-per-view, huge spotlight on it. This newcomer, he's got to have a bit of jitters, butterflies, right? Where Alex has been there, done that. So I just think that experience in and of itself on a huge spotlighted card plays to his favor.
Closing out Fight Island too. Like,
yeah,
it's I don't know, a lot to ask.
huge hype. You're not just sweeping it under the rug, some Apex Center, no names headlining. Like, this is a pretty big boy card. So
It's your
I don't
big
know.
boy.
Yeah,
That's your
I
pick.
like that experience. So we got a couple minutes left, boys. Any other kind of fights or matchups that kind of pop up out at you? Either line wise or value wise. That
I'll mention just an undercard fight to watch out for. The Casey Kenny Nathaniel Wood fight, bantamweight fight. Two pretty solid guys. Nathaniel Wood, pretty sure he's Welsh. I'm pretty sure he's Welsh. If he's not, he's from the UK. But I think he's 17-4 or something like that. He's got a lot of upside. But Casey Kenny, Benson Henderson has recently said a bunch of times, like, this guy like is your next guy to watch out for. Unfortunately, last fight he fought, I think a few weeks ago, I actually said he would be finishing that fight, and he didn't. He won a 3-round dominant decision, but he looked good, and I think he's better everywhere than Wood is. So I would watch out for that fight. I'm not going to give any suggestions, but it's a good kind of undercard bantamweight fight that could lead to them facing a top 15 next. So
yeah, and that Casey Kenny guy, he's had a tough schedule. I was just looking it up. Only loss in UFC is to Dvalishvili or whatever that guy's name is, but he's 4-1 in the UFC. Some big names on there too. Ray Borg, Louis Smolka.
yeah, he's pretty solid. So be a good fight to watch.
Bantamweight matchup there.
Really good.
Good insight there, Zoni. How about any other of these undercards that our fans are going to have to wake up and drink their coffee to watch some of these Saturday morning? But any other pop out on you?
I think the skyscraper versus Bam Bam is going to be a good tilt on the prelim.
Yeah,
Could
kind
be
of the return of Struve. Yeah,
could be a potential knockout in this one. Both guys like to stand and bang. Both guys are coming off losses too, I believe. So
Yeah, Tuivasa on a 3-fight losing streak.
could be a sleeper
banger.
fit. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
boys.
some nice value if you get into the round betting there, guys. For some of the early round finishes.
Yeah, I
Could
think
be some
we're
some value.
running out of time here.
We're right at time, guys. So tune into these interviews at the second half of the show. Good luck on your bets this weekend. We do have a couple special episodes coming up in the next few weeks. Crazy to think we're almost at episode 20. So thank you for watching, y'all, and have a great rest of your week and great weekend. Let's get it. Get ahead of that book.
Next up on the Hooks In MMA podcast, we have 33-14-1 light heavyweight in the UFC. He's from Waterford, Wisconsin, fighting out of Murrieta, California. Smiling Sam Alvey. How's it going today?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful, sir. Thank you so much for having me on.
No problem. We appreciate it. So, just talk about lately, you got a big fight coming up soon, and we'll get to that, just how training's been for you and how you're getting ready to go here.
Yeah, training's been going great. I've got so many training partners. Dom Reyes, he's a good friend of mine, and he's fighting for the title here in a week, and he's been working with me. I've been working with him. I've got Jaron Bandera, who's going to be at the Contender Series. Jamal Pogus, who just fought in LFA last week. Dan Henderson, he's brushing off those gloves to come whoop us all up. So I've just had a ton of talent in there beating me up every day, and it's been a really good camp so far.
Awesome. So just talk about growing up in Wisconsin. What kind of hobbies did you have, and how was it growing up there?
Yeah, so I grew up on Lake Tishigan in Wisconsin. So I was big fisherman, loved fishing. I was out on that lake most days. I was a band nerd too. I played in the big band, the orchestral band, the jazz band, the marching band. I did everything trumpet. I hunted a lot growing up, and I helped out a lot. I did a lot of roofing too. I got into roofing with my dad, and actually my band instructor. He's a roofer during the summer, and I did a couple jobs with him also.
All right, yeah. Don't mess with the band geek, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody saw this UFC trumpet player coming.
No. I fish and hunt myself. I just cleaned my guns the other day for the duck hunting season. What did you hunt, and what did you fish for, or what do you fish for?
Fishing, well, I fished everywhere, but so I fished for a little bit of everything. Never been fly fishing. I've always wanted to, but never got into it. Maybe someday.
Yeah.
We did a lot of bass fishing, a lot of panfish too. Just being out on the lake fishing for whatever is gonna bite.
Yeah.
Hunting. We used to go out to North Dakota every spring for the spring snow goose, and that was my favorite hunts. We did deer and pheasants. Pheasants a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
But this was you drive around in South Dakota, North Dakota, just mile by mile dirt roads for the entire state. And you drive around these dirt roads looking for flocks. You find a flock, and then you get dropped off. You and your whole party, 100 yards apart from one another, and then you spend 3 or 4 hours just crawling as slow as you could to get as close to geese as you can. And then they'd spot you, or you'd pop up and start blasting. But there'd be 70,000 geese pop out of this field, and you just spray in the sky. Sometimes you could even get enough time to reload. But we just had so much fun doing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your wife's in your corner, correct?
Yep. She's
Yeah.
my manager, training partner, chief corner.
So just speak to that. How important that is, having her by your side, not only in life, but at your job too.
When I met her before I ever started fighting, met her before she was ever a model too. And so we kind of grew up together in a day. At the beginning, if I said she was my corner person, it was a free ticket. I didn't have to buy a ticket for her to watch the fight. So that's where it all started. And she started taking it far more serious than I ever did. She loved the sport before I did. I could just punch hard. So I kind of beat up everyone in Wisconsin. She was my corner through all of it. And she said, Sam, you've got to get a bigger gym. You've got to get a better gym. So she did a lot of research, and she came down to either American Top Team in Florida for me or Team Quest here in Southern California. And she made the eventual call of Dan Henderson's gym being the better gym. And so I took, we started driving south, and I took a right when she told me where we were going.
Awesome. I have to ask, just because I live about an hour from Toronto. You fought in MFC in Edmonton a bunch of times and won the title there. How was that experience?
I love the MFC. I like fighting in a ring. I prefer fighting in a cage, but I prefer watching fights in a ring. There's just something about them. They're easier to watch. It's a cleaner picture. You don't have to look through the cage. But the MFC was as professionally run a show as I've ever been a part of. They took care of their fighters. They paid us pretty well. Mark Pavlich was the owner. He did everything to make sure the fighters felt like we were the next level organization.
Oh, that's great. And it's a stepping stone to what you became. So that's got to be part of it too, part of the story.
Absolutely, it was. It was maybe not my favorite part, but it was one of my favorite parts.
That's awesome. We've talked to a few pretty relevant people in the past. You're coming up on your 20th UFC fight, which is absolutely amazing. There's only one other guy that I've talked to that had that, and that was Hands of Stone Stout, Sam Stout.
Okay.
So what's that?
Couple of Sams.
Yeah, couple of Sams. Sam squared.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a huge accomplishment. So just speak to, I know you're not just wanting to fight for the 20th time. You get a big fight, but just, it is pretty big accomplishment, to be recognized.
Yeah. It's the more I think of how far I've gotten, who I've fought, who I've beaten, and I'm in a slump right now, and I'm going to break it here on October 24th. But I've done so much that I've wanted to do in the UFC. And there's still so much more I want to do that I haven't done in the first 20, but the next 20 are going to be even better. And then I look at how many people ever get to the 20th fight. There's not many. In the UFC, I think Cowboy Cerrone's 37 times in the UFC. It's only 17 more than me.
Yeah.
More, but it's not that much more. I mean, theoretically, I can get that the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something not many people do. Most people don't make it to fight 3 or fight 4. And here I made it to fight 20. I've beaten some world champions. I've had some amazing fights. I even got to fight my coach at one point in name court. And it's been a wild ride. And I'm looking forward to the second half as well.
Yeah, we are too. I'm only going to bring it up because you mentioned it. You are in a bit of a slide.
Oh my goodness.
Personally, Cowboy Cerrone is my favorite fighter of all time. He's also in a slide. He's lost 4 in a row as well, and he's got a big fight in 2 days here. I know he's ramping up for that to get a win, to get out of that, that little bit of a losing streak. Yeah. You as well. I think you're going to get through it as well. So what are you focusing on? You fight Da Un Jung. And that's on one of the biggest cards ever. So what are you looking forward to doing on that card?
Well, yeah, of the last 4, every fighter has an excuse. I try not to make excuses.
No, that's okay.
I won my last fight. I thought I won it pretty. Dominant's the wrong word, but I thought I won the fight. The fight before that, I thought I won too, a little less dominantly, but I thought I won that too. And then the 2 before that, I got Mark Goddard. I got hit, but I was getting back out. Anyway, so everyone's got their excuse. I hate that I bring it up, but
that's okay.
The point I want to get to is I do not want to leave it in the hands of the judges. I do not want to leave it in the hands of the Mark Goddards of the world. I want to go in there and perform the way I know I can perform. I'm a knockout artist. This will be my 20th fight in the UFC. This will be my 20th knockout in MMA as well. And that's the goal, is I want to go in there and I want to finish this fight because that is what I do. That is the type of fighter I've always been. I've hit a little bit of a slump here, and I got to correct, and I've got every ability in the world to correct.
Yeah, and we think you will too. I really do.
Yeah,
part of the reason why we wanted to talk with you, because we know something good's coming too. How did that fight come about? So it is a huge card. You got to admit that. But they also obviously asked you to be on that for a reason, because you put on a show. So how did that fight come about?
Well, we were talking in the UFC. I was kind of planning, after 4 fights in a row, I can't win a damn decision. I was talking to the UFC about going back down to 85. I said, I'm completely willing to. I was dieting down for it. I started running a lot more. I started doing a lot of stuff a lot more. And my wife, my manager, she reached out and said, hey, Sam would love to fight 185 or 205. If you guys have a preference, let us know. Otherwise, we'll start coming down. The UFC got back to us and said, you know what? Whatever Sam wants, 185, 205, just let us know and we'll find something. So my wife and I said, well, 85, here we come. And we were about to hit send on the email, and they sent us an email. Say, hey, we got to fight at 205. You want to do it? Well, there we go. Take it out of our hands. We'll fight 205 again. And, man, they gave me a big guy, too. Oh,
yeah, he's a big dude, but.
Yeah, I was a real big 85er. I'm not a small 205er, but I'm not a big 80 or 205er either. I'm like right in the middle. And they gave me one of the biggest friggin' 205ers they could find.
But as you know, though, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
The harder they fall. They also throw harder, too.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try my best not to let that land.
For sure. So Da Jung, that's who you're fighting. He has 7 straight finishes. So just speak to him as an opponent.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's got a cross. Man, does he have a cross. It's about as clean a punch as anyone in the UFC's ever thrown him. It's from his face to my face or to whoever's face. Outside of that, Kressler, he's got some flaws. There's some openings I see. And I'm going to try and exploit each and every one of them. I'm going to try and make sure I hit him harder and more often than he can hit me. And yeah, I think he's on an 11-fight win streak, but only 2 in the UFC. And and like you said, he's on a 7-fight finish streak, which actually could go to my advantage. I have some of the better cardio. I like bragging about my cardio. I never get tired in a fight. I am a redhead, though, so I always turn red. And everyone, I hate the comments afterwards. Oh, Sam looked tired. I said, I swear to you, I was not tired. At any point in my UFC career I've not been tired. But he's on a 7-fight finish streak. He no longer, in his head, he doesn't have to train for 3 rounds. He's got to train for 2 rounds or maybe 2.5 rounds, maybe. He doesn't need the 3 rounds. I am good for 3 rounds. A lot of my knockouts come in that 3rd round because I don't lose power. I don't lose stamina.
Good way to put it. Just wanted to ask your opinion last weekend. Were you able to see some of the fights or?
Yeah, I saw everything but the main event. I had to get home during the main event.
So just with the Mike Rodriguez Ed Herman fight, I just wanted your take on that. We were losing our minds watching that in the basement. One of the craziest upsets and comebacks ever, but also one of the greatest controversies ever. So what did you think about that?
I think Dana White said it all. The referee what a terrible call. Ed Herman played it perfectly. He didn't fake anything. Oops, sorry, got my phone. He didn't fake anything.
You faked me out.
He was hurt. The referee thought it was a knee to the groin, and so Ed Herman. Why would Ed Herman correct him? He said, no, it wasn't my groin. It was my liver.
Yeah.
So Ed Herman played it great, and then when he locked up that what was it, a Kimura Americana? Yeah. I thought, man, that was in. And I know how strong Ed Herman is. I rolled with him once, like 6 or 7 years ago. And back then, he's like, man, he was a different level of strong. And the Kimura is kind of a strong guy move. You kind of get a hold of the wrist and you twist real hard. So I think he's going to get this. And everyone in the room said, oh, it's a Kimura. And then he flipped him over, and then he tickled the back of his head with his own hand. It was a crazy finish
from the bottom too, right? And then he stepped over. That was crazy.
Yeah, stepped over, and people are even saying, "Oh, he put his toes in the cage." Just you're fine putting your toes in the cage for a step.
Yeah. So what do you like to do after fights? What do you indulge in? What are some fun things you do? Eat?
I love to eat. Yeah. That's the reason I went up to 205. I like eating too much. Well, since I moved to California for the last 10 years, kind of fallen out of fishing and hunting just because it's too expensive to do out here.
Yeah.
But my parents just moved to Tennessee, which is where I plan to move here in the next year or 2.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. California sucks. If you ever get the chance to come here, don't. I've
only been once. I haven't been back.
Yeah. I've been here once. Just for 10 years was that once.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get out. But My parents moving to Tennessee now. I would love to get out there for a deer season. I'd like to get out there and get some hunting, fishing in. If I'll have a little downtime, I can get away from the gym for a little bit. I'd like to go out and really start introducing my kids more into hunting.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, last segment here, between rounds. So 1 minute, I'll ask you a question. There'll be a couple of answers, okay?
Beautiful.
Because you said it before, what's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza. Favorite sport other than MMA?
Football. Football is my favorite sport, including MMA.
Favorite team?
Green Bay Packers, America's team.
That's okay. Camping or hotel? What would you prefer?
Hotel.
Yeah. Favorite getaway spot in California or Wisconsin?
Wisconsin, it was Lake of the Torches Casino up in Minocqua. In California, back to Wisconsin.
I like it. Favorite country in the world other than the States?
Oh, man. Canada's pretty great. I've done a lot of fighting up in Canada. It's just beautiful. I like Australia. Mexico City was my favorite place in the world to fight.
Okay.
So there are a couple good countries. Brazil, I loved Brazil. Brazil was a lot of fun, too.
Best music, best kind of music?
I'm a big fan of bluegrass.
Oh, nice. I listened to an Alan Jackson bluegrass, one of his only CD a couple of years ago. Is fantastic.
Okay, I'll have to look into it.
Check that. It's actually really good.
Well, what's it called?
I haven't listened to it in a while, so I can't. I think he only has the one, though. So.
Okay, yeah, I'll Google it.
Really good. Favorite movie of all time?
The Greatest Showman. I think it finally just took over The Matrix. Matrix is number one for a long time, but I just fell in love with The Greatest Showman.
Okay, well, I'll have to watch that because I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's a musical, so if you don't like musicals, you're not going to like it.
I could tune in. Who is in your pound-for-pound top 5 MMA fighters of all time?
GSP is number 1. Mighty Mouse is number 2. We're going to go with Anderson Silva at number 3. You're getting 4 is Fedor has to be on the list. And then Dan Henderson's number 5.
Good list. Who do you think wins between Adesanya and Costa?
I'm so torn on this fight because I love Adesanya. But Costa's got that explosive power, but he's not as clean. I'm leaning towards Adesanya, but I am wrong 100% of the time on my main event picks.
What about Blachowicz and Dominic?
Dom Reyes is my teammate. He's gonna crush Jan.
And what about if Jones moves up and fights Miocic? Who do you like in that matchup?
Jones loses to everyone in the heavyweight division.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah.
How come?
Yeah. Actually, what's funny is I think he has the best chance against Stipe, but I think he loses to just about everyone else in the heavyweight division. Okay.
Even Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, I would take Brock over Jones. I would. People laugh at me for it. Jones's biggest advantage, he's okay MMA fighter, all that. Other than the PEDs, his biggest advantage is his reach. He's got 84 inches. Every time he fights somebody like Dom Reyes or like Gustafsson with a reach of similar reach, he gets hit, and he gets hit a lot. He's not that elusive. He's just so long, people can't get at him. As soon as he goes up to heavyweights, Ngannou's got as long or just an inch shorter. Ngannou will flatten him. I think my balls is hot. I think he beats him. I think he knocks him out in the first or second, assuming he doesn't gas before then. Yeah. Stipe is a small heavyweight, which is why I think Jones would have the best chance against Stipe. But Jones doesn't hit particularly hard, and Stipe's boxing is pretty sharp.
That's good analysis. October 24th, correct?
Yes, sir.
UFC 254. Who wins between Alvey and Young, and how?
Alvey's going to win. Guy's super handsome. Someone that handsome couldn't lose 5 in a row. And he's going to get a knockout. He's going to get a knockout in the second round.
And any sponsors, shout-outs, or social media just to finish off?
Hit me up on social media. At Smile and Sam. That's it's Smile N Sam. And I'm on TikTok now. I actually just got 5,000 followers on TikTok. So if you're
That's
on
actually
TikTok,
pretty good.
Oh, I just got there today, and I'm so thrilled. I love TikTok. I just discovered it like a month and a half ago, and I am addicted to it. It is every second I'm not doing something, I'm on TikTok. I love it. So if you're on TikTok, follow me because I have so much fun with that.
I had one of the worst interviews earlier today. I was so rattled after, but I finished off with one of the best. So we really appreciate you coming on. Looking forward to that fight October 24th, UFC 254, Gaethje and Khabib. But really, it's going to be the Smiling Sam Alvey show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir. We'll do this again.
Sounds good. Hooks in MMA. You take care and good luck.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next up on the Hooks in MMA podcast, we have 10-2 middleweight. He currently fights out of Langley, BC. He was born in Carmen, Manitoba, and he's got a big fight coming up against former UFC vet Sergio Moraes in October. Jared, the Revel, how's it going?
How you guys?
So you were talking about training, and it's nice out in BC right now. You probably do some outdoor training later today. How has training been going, and how are you looking towards your fight coming up?
I'm very excited. I'm at a unique opportunity in my life, just kind of with all the pandemic and everything going on. I actually ended up selling my portion of the gym, so I kind of focused on just training, so I don't really have any other distractions for myself. So I've just kind of went all in and training as much as I can, and recovering as much as I can. As you can see, I'm sitting here taking advantage of every minute. So
awesome. So you're fully invested. So what gym was that, and is that the gym you currently still train out of?
So Revolution Martial Arts, I had owned that and fought over there for pretty much my whole career.
Yep.
And been a part owner throughout that time. So I right now I'm honestly, like, for me, in BC is, once I get to this level, I've kind of fought most of the people around here. So it's now I end up training with a lot of the people I've fought or signed up to fight. So any gym where I can get the best training, I do train at Revolution still. And but I do train, as much, I find the best talent and the best bodies for myself that I can go. And it's a pretty good community out here that I'm, you're welcome most places. So
yeah, there's a lot of legit names out there, up in Victoria or up in Squamish as well.
for sure.
So yeah, just speak to, I know you said you were born in Manitoba. When did you live there and then when did you decide to move to BC?
I actually lived there my whole kind of teenage, like my whole life up till I was 18, and then I moved out when I was just finished school, graduated, and my parents. I always kind of wanted to go to California. That was always kind of the dream, and ended up in BC, which is kind of Cannabis Valley, right? So
yeah.
So I ended up moving out here, and just wasn't sure if I was gonna be here forever, but it's I've been out here almost as long as I was out there. So
yeah, and they're all great places. I've actually been fortunate enough to been to all three. California for a basketball tournament in high school, BC for a rugby tournament in high school, and then Manitoba I lived in for a year teaching out that way. So some good experiences out in the three places that you're talking about. Some of the hobbies growing up in Manitoba. So I'm not sure when you started MMA, but was there something else,
growing up, like, hockey is like hockey's the world, especially in the small community we were from, right? So I played hockey my whole life. Any sport. I love sports. That was, most of my hobbies. Obviously as a kid, skateboard, different things with your buddies and then hanging out. But sports has always been, a huge aspect of my life.
Do you have a favorite sports team?
Yeah, I do. Like, I like the Lakers, man. I've been watching ever since I kind of got hooked on basketball. I like the Lakers. I'm always going to be a Winnipeg Jets fan, deep down, right? The Canucks have grown on me out here since I moved out here. But if there's something that I watch the most would be the Lakers basketball. So,
well, they obviously had a huge loss this year, but maybe they can regain that and have some, recap of it all with an NBA championship.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, you've been a BFL staple for most of your career. Battlefield Fight League. You were the middleweight champion. I don't know if you vacated that or not, but just speak to that promotion and how that kind of grew you as an MMA fighter.
that promotion, like before I got started, BFL was, like the main staple in BC when I kind of started my MMA journey. And I think most of my fights, have been with that organization. They've been nothing but great to me. I have nothing but good things to say. It's unfortunate kind of at this time in BC, it doesn't really look like there's going to be any MMA for the foreseeable future, right? At least not this year for sure, right? So,
Yeah.
But, I have nothing but great things to say. They've always treated me well. I've always, it gave me a platform to perform on, right? And, I definitely, I'm appreciative of that. And it gave a lot of us a platform to, I think any organization people can have problems with, like,
Yeah.
but, that's the name of the game, right? That's what a promotion does. It's not easy for them either, right? So I'm not in it for all the money and all that stuff. Like I love to compete, man. That's what I'm all about. And they give me an opportunity to do that and perform. So.
Yeah, that's great. I've heard nothing but good things too. So just, you have a fight win streak, that you're moving in the right direction, increase the level of competition. It seems like every fight, arguably I would say your next fight is probably going to be your toughest. I'm not sure if you agree, but
I for sure think so. It's definitely the biggest opportunity too. So.
Yeah. So how do you feel about, this, you're on a roll right now, keep it going. How do you feel going into that?
I feel real good. Really, my only loss in the last, in almost my last, I guess, 9 fights, came due to a doctor stoppage from a cut. So it's, I've definitely, I feel confident every time I'm in the cage, right, and feel confident kind of with my ability with anybody. It's that's just kind of who I am. I'm very competitive. I believe I can win anything. So I'm excited, man. It's a huge opportunity. I'm super stoked. I feel, constantly like, I'm evolving, getting better each day. And just as my career goes on, I just feel like, the word professional, I just become more professional in everything I'm doing, right? And whether it's making weight, being responsible, and maybe that comes with some age too, but having, I've invested so much on my recovery as well. And I'm focused on my mobility and consistently so I can train at the highest level all the time with my diet and everything. So, I feel, I'm at I'm giving myself the best chance, to succeed at the best I can. Right. So,
so how did that fight come about? I guess just, behind the scenes, without giving, I guess, too much information. How does that work?
Big shout out to my agents, Jason House and Iridium Sports Agency. They're always looking for ways for me to get to that next level, right? At this time, obviously around here, there's not much for me, and I'm kind of, pretty much what happened is I ended up getting all my kind of medicals done, and I've applied for Nevada State licensing, right? So just so I'm ready for anything, I have it all done. I was willing to invest in getting all the medicals done before even having a fight, and then all of a sudden this opportunity kind of came about a couple of days ago, and it was a no-brainer. I think it's a great opportunity, great fight, a tough opponent, test myself and see if I'm ready to be at the next level, right? That's what it's all about. And I'm so stoked for it, right? So
it lines up for me. Sergio Moraes as an opponent, I'm sure you've seen a few of his fights in his past. What do you think about what he does well? What, you don't have to say any game plans or anything, but
he's obviously, like, to be honest, like, the guy's got, I think, 14 fights in the UFC, so he's legit, like, you know what I mean? He's not a walkover by any means, right? So, like, I'm so excited for this opportunity. He's obviously a world champion jiu-jitsu. I think that's, his biggest part of his game. Jiu-jitsu was like all I kind of did when I first started, but, I've definitely evolved as a fighter, and I'm excited to test, that out and perform, to the best of my abilities, right? And showcase what I can do, right?
Yeah. What do you think, a win against a guy like that could do for you?
Well, I would, at the end of the day, like, I think it's just going to keep putting me up higher and higher on the platform, right? It's a win against someone like that's just going to show that I'm capable of beating people on the highest level, right? So, excited to prove that, and I think, obviously I want to go for finishes. That's just my style and everything I do, right? I love to get the definitive win, right? I've had a few fights, I think 2 fights that went the distance, it's a
good success rate.
Yeah, right. So
yeah. So, after fights, what do you do for, to celebrate or for fun?
oh yeah, man, I got a few like I think about all the food I'm gonna eat more
Yeah.
than I actually do, because then after I'm not even that gung ho on anything crazy. What I do like is some anybody that knows me. I like fresh baked cookies. They got to be
Okay.
soft. That's like one thing. It's during camp I get all weird and I like looking up different recipes, but I don't even eat that many. Like I'm not. I started thinking about a lot of stuff, but a few rituals I have. I always with a bunch of my friends. I don't play video games very much, but during fight week I always play video games. I usually play NBA 2K just to get my mind off things.
Great
And
game.
we always do like a big tournament after. So, and we always, we talk about who wins the chip after, right? So
Yeah.
I've been pretty successful at that. So I do that. And then I go to my family's out here. So I have some cousins and uncle. They always cook me a badass meal, which is pretty awesome. And the other thing I like to do is, I'm a very, adventurous guy. I love to go on some type of adventure, adrenaline seeking, whatever it is, right?
Yep.
And do something while I have some time before I get back to the gym. I normally like to go right back to the gym, especially when I owned it. And my coaches would always be like, take a few days off, man.
Yeah.
And heal up, right? So
Yeah, you should get some kind of sponsor from a bakery to cook you those
buddy.
cookies, and then use the NBA 2K tournament after your fight, and the winner gets all the cookies or something like that.
Buddy, oh man, they make fun of me. We call it like food porn. Like I want to watch something.
Yeah.
It's just too funny, right? But it's for some reason like I'm pretty diligent. Like I said earlier, like with my in terms of being a professional, like I used to, I think, balloon up to like a lot heavier after my fights. Like I'd eat whatever, but last 5 years I've really been diligent with my eating and my diet. So like as much as I love that, I try not to do it as much, and I don't indulge, for too long, because otherwise, I can get bigger quick, and I like to stay ready and stay in shape all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Our last segment is between rounds, so it'll be a minute, and I'll ask you a question, and you just kind of give your best answer.
Yeah, man.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Your favorite food?
We're gonna say cookies.
Okay. Favorite sport other than MMA?
NBA.
NBA. Camping or hotel? What would you rather stay in?
Oh, I'm gonna say camping.
Favorite getaway spot in BC that maybe people don't know about?
My new one, man, is Tofino.
Tofino. Okay.
Oh man,
I heard good things. Favorite country in the world other than Canada?
favorite country. I'm gonna go with like the best place I've been so far is just Europe. That's like, yeah.
Any specific country or just there?
Italy is gonna be the best, I think, just for me, just because that's like where I went, right? Italy,
Yeah.
That's the best time I had when I went to Italy. We went to the Amalfi Coast. It was so badass, right? So for where I've been, I could say Barcelona, like when I was in Spain too. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. It's there's lots of places I love to go. I love to adventure anywhere. So
I'd like to get to Italy one day too. Best kind of music.
Best kind of music. I grew up on hip hop, so I'd probably say hip hop.
Okay.
I'm changing as I get older, though. I am changing as I get older, but hip hop I do like.
Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, American History X.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's one of my tops too. Top 5 MMA fighters of all time. No order, just pound for pound.
All right, so Fedor, BJ Penn. I'm gonna go with so Fedor, BJ Penn. Let's go with I like Gaethje, John Jones, and Diaz.
Nice. Well, Gaethje can definitely cement what you're saying with a big win in a month or so.
Yeah.
And who wins next month? Sergio Moraes or yourself, and how?
I'm going to say I win by stoppage.
Okay. I like that answer. Any sponsors?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all I was just going to say. I'm not going to tell you what stoppage, but it's going to be stoppage.
Okay. keep us guessing. Any sponsor shout outs or social media?
Yeah, for me, honestly, all the gyms that I've trained at, I definitely want to give a huge shout out to BC Kimonos. Iridium Sports Agency has been huge for me. They've been nothing but great. BC Kimonos is a company local that hooks up fighters and stuff like that with equipment and gear. For this fight only, that's pretty much what I got right now for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel awful because I probably have a few others, but maybe don't print that. I don't know.
We'll just say and everybody else that I missed.
Right? Just all my sponsors are great.
Awesome. Well, just before we let you go, do you know if there'll be a stream for that card or?
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be something like they're gonna give me all the stuff in the following days.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just waiting on that. It's they're looking for obviously a deal on like some TV deal or something like that. So there'll be a stream for sure.
Awesome.
Of something, but
well, we can't wait.
Sorry. Really, the only sponsor I'm going to throw out is the Iridium Sports Agency. They've been throwing hard for me, so that's what I got to say.
Awesome. We can't wait for your fight. I'll definitely be streaming it wherever I can. Very happy to have you on.
Awesome.
Appreciate your time. Jared, the Revel, next month against Sergio Moraes, going to get a big W. Thanks again. This is Hooks in MMA.
Thanks, man. Take care.
You too.
Falling in and out of love, in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love, in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love, in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love, yeah.